Welcome to solverfy.
Hello students, in this question we have three subparts. So we want to find the probability that a single blood pressure measurement will fail to detect that the patient has a high blood pressure. That is the probability that the measurement is less than or equal to 150. We can use the Z-score formula here. So Z equal to x minus mu by sigma. X minus mu by sigma, it is equal to 150 minus 160 divided by 20. It is equal to minus 0.5. Now we can look up the probability in a standard normal distribution table. Then we get probability of x less than or equal to 150 equal to probability of z less than or equal to minus 0.5. It is equal to 0.3085. So the probability that a single blood pressure measurement will fail to detect that the patient has high blood pressure is 0.3085. And in second part, if 5 blood pressure measurements are taken, we want to find the probability that the average of the 5 measurements is less than 150. So the mean of the average of 5 measurements is still, so here mean is still 160, but the standard deviation is 20 divided by square root of 5. So we can use the Z-score formula again. So Z equal to x minus mu by sigma, that is equal to 150 minus 160 divided by 20 by square root of 5. So it is equal to minus 1.118. Now we can look up the probability in a standard normal distribution table to find the probability of x less than or equal to 150. It is equal to probability of z less than or equal to minus 1.118. So it is equal to 0.1317. So the probability that the average of 5 measurements will be less than 150 and fail to indicate that the patient has high blood pressure is 0.1317. And for the next question, and for the next part, we want to find the number of measurements required so that there is at most 1% probability of falling to detect that the patient has high blood pressure. So let n be the number of measurements. The mean of the average of the n measurements is still 160, but the standard deviation equal to 20 divided by square root of n. We can use the Z-score formula here. So Z equal to x minus mu by sigma. So 150 minus 160 divided by 20 divided by square root of n. So we want to find the smallest n, thus that probability of z less than or equal to z less than or equal to 0.0. Using the standard normal distribution table, we find that the Z-score corresponding to 1% probability is equal to minus 2.33. So minus 2.33 equal to 150 minus 160 divided by 20 by root n. So now we can solve this. We can solve for n. So n equal to 20 by minus 2.33. Minus 2.33 whole square, it is equal to 73.6. Since we need a whole number of measurements, we round up to 74. So here, 74 measurements would be required. 74 measurements would be required in a given day. So that there is at most 1% probability of failing to detect that the patient has high blood pressure. has high blood pressure. Thank you. Hope you find the solution helpful.